know everyone's talking about AI these days, but this time, Google has just launched a new monster called Jules 2.0. Not a demo, not a far-off promise. It's running for real, and I have to say, if you're a developer, this is the name you'll be hearing a lot this year. What is Jules 2.0 and why is it so noteworthy? If you've ever used GitHub Copilot, you're familiar with the idea of AI suggesting code as you type. But Jules 2.0 from Google doesn't just stop at suggestions. This is an AI coding agent, an automated programming assistant that works as a team member, not just a tool. The standout capabilities of Jules are, it takes tasks, runs in the background, handles everything from A to Z without you having to monitor every line of code. It clones the entire codebase into a secure environment on Google Cloud, getting the full picture of the project instead of just guessing based on a few lines you're writing. It runs multiple tasks in parallel, meaning you can let Jules handle dependency upgrades, write unit tests, or fix bugs while you focus on new features. How it differs from Copilot is like a teaching assistant in a coding class. It only responds when you ask, providing on-the-spot suggestions. Jules is different. It's like a fully onboarded junior developer who understands the project and can work independently. And the interesting part is, a regular junior needs training, takes breaks, sometimes forgets things. Jules 2.0, no long training, no fatigue, no forgetfulness, works 24/7, and you just need to provide clear instructions. What impresses me most about Jules 2.0 is that it doesn't just help, it actually does the work. With Copilot, I'm still in control. It's like driving while using GPS. But with Jules, I can step out of the car, let it drive to the destination, and then report back to me with the results. If Copilot is like a helpful teaching assistant, Jules is truly a diligent junior developer, but without the sleep, the morning coffee, and especially without complaining when it encounters bugs. This makes Jules not just an AI tool anymore, but it's getting close to being a real team member in the software development process, something we thought would take a few more years to happen. New features. Google didn't just upgrade Jules 2.0 with a few tweaks. They've almost redefined how an AI coding agent can function in software projects. Below are the most noteworthy features, along with my perspective and evaluation. A. Pull request integration. Review and merge directly within the platform. How it works. Jules allows you to open, review, and merge pull requests directly within the platform, without jumping between the IDE, GitHub, and other review tools. Real-world benefit. For example, a SaaS team I know manages 15 to 20 PRs daily. In the past, each developer spent around 5 to 10 minutes switching tabs, loading repos, and reviewing. With Jules, all actions are consolidated in one place, saving the team around 2 hours a day. This feature isn't flashy, but it's the kind of quiet change that boosts productivity significantly. Reducing context switching is the fastest way to reduce burnout in a dev team. B. Environment snapshots. Freeze and restore the dev environment. How it works. Jules saves the entire state of the development environment, VM, configuration, dependencies, settings, so you can restore at any time. Real-world situation. You're working on a feature, and then a client urgently requests a bug fix in another project. Instead of writing down each package version and config, you just save a snapshot, switch to the other project, and restore it a few days later without spending half a day setting it up again. Anyone who's ever struggled with dependency hell will understand how valuable this feature is. I'm just curious if Google limits the size of the snapshot. What if the codebase is huge? C. Interactive task planning, flexible work planning. How it works. You can change timelines, dependencies, and deliverables in real time. Real-world benefit. For agile teams, sprints can change priorities frequently. Instead of updating manually in Jira Trello, Jules updates directly within the working environment. This is the first step towards AI taking on the role of a project manager. If you add the feature of auto-assigning tasks, I think Jules could become a virtual PM. D. Integrated web surfing. Look up documentation directly within the dev environment. How it works. When you need API docs, code samples, or guides, Jules automatically finds and displays them directly within the IDE. For example, you're integrating a new payment API. And instead of opening 5 Chrome tabs to find the docs, Jules fetches the latest version from the official source. Incredibly convenient, but I'd want to have a filter option to avoid Jules bringing up outdated or incorrect documentation. Automated testing and previews, auto test and preview UI. How it works: integrated with Playwright, Jules runs tests across multiple environments, creates UI previews, or takes screenshots before deployment. Real-world benefit: it helps detect UI bugs early, especially useful for projects with complex UI components. If you add this feature to the CI/CD pipeline, developers almost won't need to do manual smoke tests anymore. Critic Agent, a tough AI reviewer. How it works: uses reinforcement learning to scan for bugs, optimize code, and warn about potential edge cases. It doesn't just find syntax errors but also points out bottlenecks and fragile logic. Real-world example. In a Google demo, the Critic Agent detected a piece of code that could cause a deadlock when running in multi-threading, an error that even senior developers sometimes miss. It feels like having a senior dev always ready to review your code. But I'd like to see the data. What's the accuracy rate? What's the false positive rate? The operational process, and what I see. Here. One thing that sets Jules 2.0 apart from most other AI coding assistants is that it doesn't run directly within your environment. Instead, it operates in an isolated virtual machine, VM, on Google Cloud. This is far more important than many people realize, and I'll explain why. Step 1. Clone the entire codebase into a secure environment. When you assign a task, Jules will copy the entire source code of the project into a virtual machine on Google Cloud. This allows it to read and understand the whole picture instead of just the part of the file you're working on. Security implications. Your code isn't directly accessed by the AI on your personal machine or production server. It only works within a separate sandbox. I really appreciate this design. It's like giving a copy of an important document to an assistant working in a closed room, rather than handing them the keys to your main office. Step 2. Process and run tasks in parallel. Jules can perform multiple tasks simultaneously. Updating dependencies, writing unit tests, fixing bugs, or running UI tests, all in the background without affecting the work you're doing. You don't have to sit and wait for an answer like with a typical AI chatbot. Everything operates asynchronously. While Jules is processing, you can still work on other things, and it will notify you when it's done. The beauty here is that Jules acts like a background task employee in a company. It takes the task, does the work, and reports the result. It doesn't need you to babysit. Step 3. Explain the logic and report results. When it's done, Jules doesn't just send over the new code, it also explains the logic behind the changes. You can opt for an audio summary if you want to listen quickly instead of reading. All changes are presented as a pull request for you to review before merging. This follows best practices. AI works fast, but humans are still the final gatekeepers. I would never merge directly from AI without reviewing, but if AI explains clearly, I can review much faster. Step 4. Maintain control. Jules doesn't push code to the main branch on its own. You have the authority to approve or reject changes, just like you would when reviewing code from a team member. This is especially crucial for projects that require high security standards or in sensitive industries, finance, healthcare. Many AI tools worry me because they are too automated, which can cause production errors. With Jules, the design of AI does the work. Human reviews is the safest approach. What's clear to me is that Jules 2.0 is designed to be a teammate, not just a smart machine. It proactively works, but still lets humans maintain the final control, making it easier to integrate into professional dev teams. Quick comparison with competitors. When talking about AI coding assistants, the 3 most mentioned names right now are GitHub Copilot, Anthropic Claude for Code, and Windsurf IDE. Google's Jules 2.0 enters this market with a distinct approach. Here's a specific comparison. GitHub Copilot strengths: inline code suggestions as you type, fast response times, smooth integration with VS Code. Weaknesses: works based on small context, open file or a few files, cannot handle large tasks or manage entire projects. Compared to Jules, Copilot is like a teaching assistant. It helps as you code, but you still do all the work. Jules is like an employee. It takes a full task and handles it end-to-end in a separate environment. Claude for code, Anthropic. Strengths: good at reading and analyzing code bases, natural communication, understands complex logic. Weaknesses: not deeply integrated into the dev workflow, no pull request handling, no environment snapshots. Compared to Jules, Claude excels at analysis, but Jules is better at integrating workflows and automating tasks. It doesn't just talk, it also does the work. Windsurf IDE strengths: an AI-powered IDE, allowing interaction with the codebase and running a few automated tasks. Weaknesses: limited by its own IDE environment, lacks the strong cloud infrastructure like Google Cloud to handle parallel tasks. Compared to Jules, Windsurf is like a small workshop. You work in a closed environment. Jules is like a large factory. It can scale infinitely with Google's infrastructure. The biggest difference with Jules 2.0, Google infrastructure integration, using Google Cloud, Gemini AI, Google One for exceptional speed and scalability. Parallel processing, handles multiple tasks at once without waiting for you. Integrated workflow, pull requests, environment snapshots, document lookup, UI testing all in one platform. If you need an AI companion to help you type code, Copilot is still the quickest choice. If you want AI to deeply analyze logic, Claude is worth trying. But if you want to delegate a whole task and receive a complete result, Jules 2.0 is the only one right now that truly delivers on that. What I find interesting is that Jules doesn't try to replace all tools, but focuses on taking the work completely off your hands. This is a gap that Copilot and Claude haven't quite filled yet. Pricing and value. Google has split Jules 2.0 into 3 pricing tiers, based on the number of tasks per day, the ability to run concurrent tasks, and access to the latest models. I will break down each plan so you can figure out which one suits your needs. Plan 1. Google One Bundle, $1.99 month. Includes 15 tasks per day, 3 concurrent tasks. 100 GB Google Cloud storage. Best for freelancers or individual developers who want to experiment with Jules' small projects with low workloads. Pros: extremely affordable, includes cloud storage for backing up code or saving snapshots. Cons: 15 tasks, day is quite limited, and it can run out quickly if you use many features or do automatic testing. If you just want to try out Jules and understand how it works, this plan is perfect. But if you intend to use it for daily work, you'll quickly hit the limit. Plan 2, Google AI Pro, $19.99 month. Includes 100 tasks per day, 15 concurrent tasks. Access to a more advanced model compared to Plan 1. Best for startups, small teams of 3 to 5 people. Freelancers handling multiple projects simultaneously. Agile teams that need fast testing and continuous updates. Pros: balanced cost and capacity. 100 tasks a day is sufficient for most average dev needs. Cons: doesn't have access to the latest model like the Ultra plan. This is the sweet spot plan. For $20, you get a strong AI dev partner that can handle the mundane tasks, allowing you to focus on creativity. If I were a full-time dev, this would be the plan I'd choose. Plan 3, Ultra, $249.99 month. Includes 300 tasks per day, 60 concurrent tasks, top-tier access to the latest models, Gemini 2.5 Pro and upgrades. Best for large enterprises with many projects, companies that need to process a huge amount of code daily. Pros: maximum power, almost no task limit, priority processing speed. Cons: expensive, and it's hard to justify unless you're utilizing the full capacity. This is the super battle plan for large companies or dev teams working 24/7. If you're a freelancer or startup, it will be hard to fully utilize the $249.99 month unless you're managing multiple enterprise-level projects at once. My advice: just testing. Choose Google One to get acquainted and avoid high fees. Frequent use for small to medium projects. Choose AI Pro for enough tasks and concurrency. Large team with high requirements. Ultra is the only plan that fully utilizes Jules's potential. Security and privacy. How does Jules handle data? When Jules clones code into the VM on Google Cloud, the data is stored temporarily. But how long is it stored? Is it end-to-end encrypted? For companies in finance, healthcare, security is a top priority. Risk. If Google doesn't clearly disclose storage policies, some companies may be hesitant to use Jules. I wouldn't use Jules for projects involving sensitive data unless Google clearly outlines its data deletion process and encryption standards. Reliability of the Critic Agent. Is the AI reviewer really pro? The Critic Agent is advertised as a virtual senior dev, but there's no specific data on bug detection rate, false positive rate, false alerts, ability to detect complex logic errors compared to humans. AI code review sounds appealing, but if it flags too many non-existent errors, devs will waste time clearing alerts and lose trust in the tool. Integration. Outside the Google ecosystem. In reality, dev teams often use various tools like Jira, Slack, Trello, GitLab, Bitbucket. Does Jules integrate deeply to update tasks in Jira or send notifications directly through Slack? If Jules only works within Google's ecosystem, it might be inconvenient for teams that already have complex workflows. Limits. When working with large teams, each Jules plan limits the number of tasks, day, and concurrent tasks. For enterprise teams, the fact that many devs share the same quota could be a bottleneck. For example, the Ultra plan offers 60 concurrent tasks, which sounds like a lot. But if 50 devs are running tests in parallel, the limit will be reached quickly. Google needs to clarify how it manages quotas when multiple users share within an organization. Impact on the developer job market. Jules 2.0 might reduce the demand for junior devs, especially in companies that only need to handle repetitive tasks. This could make it harder for new graduates to find jobs, but it also creates pressure to upskill quickly. AI like Jules won't replace devs, but it will take over some parts of their work. Those who know how to leverage AI will have an advantage, while those who don't adapt quickly will be left behind. Applications beyond programming. A competitor hasn't mentioned this yet, but Jules can definitely expand into analyzing system logs to detect anomalies, automatically writing weekly technical reports, conducting basic security checks on code bases. Google hasn't heavily promoted this aspect yet, but I believe Jules 2.0 could become a versatile technical assistant, not just limited to coding. If you include these features in a video, it would give viewers the feeling of receiving insider information, something the competitors missed, which would increase trust and sharing potential. Looking back at the evolution of programming tools, we've had intelligent IDEs, IntelliJ, VS Code, help code faster. Code completion, Copilot, suggests code based on context. And now, AI coding agents like Jules 2.0 handles entire tasks from A to Z. In my opinion, Jules 3.0 will expand beyond just coding. With the current foundation, Google only needs to add a few APIs and new models, and Jules could. Project management. Automatically allocate tasks, track progress, and send daily reports. Advanced QA integration. Run security tests, performance tests, and automated load tests. Operational data analysis. Read server logs, provide early downtime warnings. I believe Jules 3.0 will become the AI DevOps assistant, not just for coding, but also for managing operations and deployments. AI will redefine the role of developers. Junior devs will do less repetitive work and will need to learn system architecture and software design faster. Senior devs will focus on strategic reviews, making architectural decisions, and directing AI to carry out tasks. Small teams could handle workloads equivalent to large teams with the help of AI. We'll see many startups of 2 to 3 people releasing products on par with companies of 20 to 30 devs. AI will level the playing field. The battle for the AI dev tool ecosystem will be intense. GitHub, Microsoft, has Copilot. Anthropic has Claude for Code. Google has Jules. The winner will be the one that integrates the most deeply into the workflow and optimizes the end-to-end experience. Google is on the right track with Jules. Instead of just suggesting code, they are tackling the problem of management and deployment. But if they don't expand their integrations outside of the Google ecosystem, they'll miss out on a large portion of the market. Jules 2.0 is not a job thief, but a robot teammate, ready to handle the boring tasks, so you can focus on creativity. However, this teammate is only truly useful if you know how to delegate tasks intelligently. No matter how powerful AI is, it still needs humans to direct it. And those who know how to guide AI will be the ones to succeed in this new tech wave. In conclusion, Jules 2.0 isn't just a new AI tool. It's a clear sign that the way we write software is entering a new era. It won't replace developers, but it will definitely change how we work, from startup scale all the way to enterprise. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Would you be willing to have an AI like Jules handle an entire task and process it on its own? Or would you prefer to control 100% of every line of code? Comment and share your perspective, as I think everyone will have a unique take on this. If you found this video useful, don't forget to hit subscribe and turn on the notification bell. I'll be making more videos testing out Jules 2.0 and other AI coding agents. In the next video, I'll test if Jules 2.0 can upgrade an entire Node.js project with hundreds of code files and see if it works as advertised. Trust me, you won't want to miss this test. I'm also preparing a free guide on how to use AI to speed up your software projects, save time, and optimize costs. The link will be in the description as soon as it's ready.